Everybody, it's me, your buddy Dave, the host of the Dark Stuff channel on YouTube. Thanks a lot for checking out my latest video. In this video, I'm going to be doing a recap of the two-day Outlandia Music Festival, which just took place in Bellevue, Nebraska / Omaha, Nebraska. Lots and lots of great stuff, lots of behind-the-scenes footage. You're going to like this video. It's very, very cool. Longtime viewers of the channel might remember that I did videos in the past for the previous Outlandia festivals in 2022 and 2023. It's a music festival that takes place in Bellevue, Nebraska, which is just south of Omaha. It's a two-day music and arts festival that focuses on indie and alternative music. This year, the Friday night headliner was the Flaming Lips. The Saturday night headliner was the Head and the Heart. And there were lots and lots of great bands, some local, mostly national, some even international. I'm just going to go on record right now saying the whole highlight of the thing was Buffalo Tom for me, and that's what you're going to see a lot of in this video. So as with previous Outlandias, I was this year's stage manager. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with the job of the stage manager, but basically I am glued to the stage the entire time. My direct senior is the production manager, and they handle the entirety of the festival. Basically, that person creates the plan, I sort of execute the plan, right? So I'm interacting a lot with the tour managers and the production managers and making sure everything gets in place so that we can do a fast and error-free show where everything starts on time and everything ends on time, and that is the ultimate goal. And happy to say that it worked out this year exactly like that. As with previous videos, this is going to be showing you a different side of the festival. It's not the experience you would get if you actually went to the festival. I didn't get a chance to take pictures of any of the vendors or any of the food trucks and any of the other kind of fun stuff to do at the festival because I was pretty much on stage the entire time. Like I said a couple videos ago, I was legitimately nervous that this was going to be like 95 degrees and I was going to have a stroke or something being out 12, 13, 14 hours a day in that heat. Now, fortunately, it wasn't that hot. The hottest it got was about 80 degrees, and we decided to split shifts with tour managers, with stage managers. So I went on in the morning. I started usually about 6:30. All right, 6:12 in the morning, day one for Outlandia. Heading out right now, heading out over to Bellevue as the Flaming Lips are starting at 7. And then I was done by 4. The other guy comes in about 3, and then we overlap a little bit, and then he stays till the end of the festival. Ended up working out pretty well, actually. So, of course, the day before the festival is the buildup of the stage and the putting up of the sound, and that's, again, that's more the production manager and the people behind the festival. I'm not really involved in that. I did come and take a look at it, though, as I've done in previous years. My job really starts on day one, and that is setting up for the day one headliner, which was the Flaming Lips. And the Flaming Lips have a really intensive show. It's very, very visual, lots of lights, lots of cool shit going on, and their crew is like a part of it too. So their road crew are not just the roadies or whatever doing their, they're actually like, they feel like they actually are part of a family, and they have a part in the show. So they're setting up really early at 7 in the morning. So were Wayne Coyne and Stephen Droz from the band. They were both there bright and early as well. But then they actually had a role in the show itself. They had special outfits and whatnot. It was pretty crazy. One thing that really surprised me about the Flaming Lips thing, because I'd never seen their current setup, behind the scenes look, that thing that looks like a chain that I'm showing you on the screen right now, that's the video wall. All the visuals that you see behind the band is coming from that. And I was like, this? It's crazy. It's very sensitive, but like kind of a plasticky thing, and it breaks off into 4 parts. It's very, very cool. I had no idea how that stuff was done. So once we got everybody checked, we got all the stages set up, we got everything going. The festival started at 4, and let's just run through some of the bands that played.
Say
stuff for me on day one. I wasn't really that familiar with Men I Trust prior. I'd listened to them a little bit. They were really great. They are from Montreal, I think, and they're French-Canadian, so at least the singer spoke French. I did ask her a question once, and she began answering in French. Must have saw the dumb look on my face, like, what? And then she immediately started asking the question in English, or answering in English. But what was cool was when she was doing her sound check and was talking with her front-of-house person, she did do it in French. I thought that was cool. All right, day two. So the next day, again, bright and early. I got there about 6:45. The main headliner was The Head and the Heart. They were going to be running a pinch late because they were coming from Tulsa, Oklahoma. When we arrived, we could see the remnants of the Flaming Lips confetti machine. Like, it was still all over the grounds. They had to have a couple of guys clean all that up because it was like pretty crazy, you know. And someone in the Head and the Heart crew, I can't remember who it was, said something to the effect of, man, we always follow the Flaming Lips around and there's always all this confetti. He's like, they should not be allowed to do that. I mean, he was joking, of course. So in addition to the Head and the Heart, they sort of had another kind of headliner, and that was the Revivalists on the second day. Both bands had big productions. Both bands needed about 2 or 3 hours to set everything up. And this was the maze. This is where having a good production manager and a good stage manager comes in handy, because, and actually a good stagehand crew, because we had to move all of these moving pieces around, because there were 7 bands and we had to make everything work, and there's only a limited amount of space, and you have to set certain things up way in advance, and then they have to sit there, and you have to have enough room to move them all around. And this is a long-winded way of saying that it was a bit of a clusterfuck, but we made it through. No mistakes, no problems. So one thing about day 2 that was a real bummer was that Dinosaur Jr. was unable to play, and they had canceled about 2 days before due to a death in the family. This was a really, really close friend of Jay's and his wife and their whole family, and I heard through talking to Chris Colbourn of Buffalo Tom that everybody knows this guy, and he's like everybody's best friend. Such a sweet guy, and it just seems like he died in his sleep unexpectedly. Like nobody had any idea what was going on, and so Jay just couldn't feel like he could play. Now that's sad on that level because no Dinosaur Jr., but was also sad was that I had it confirmed from Chris Colbourn himself, that Jay was going to come up on stage and play with Dinosaur Jr. And they were going to do Bird Brain. And I threw out Impossible, which is a song off the first Buffalo Tom record where Jay does the lead. Now, Chris Colbourn kind of nodded his head, and I don't know whether that meant that was one of the songs they were going to do, or whether he was just acknowledging, yeah, Jay plays on that track. But they were going to do 2 to 3 songs, and of course now that didn't happen, but I would have had that world exclusive footage for you if that had taken place. Now, as I said, we were doing split shifts, so I finished my shift ultimately around 5, which was just before Buffalo Tom went on. So I helped them get on stage, get ready, get going, and then I was technically done for the day. You're not going to see any footage of Flipturn, the Revivalists, or the Head and the Heart. And if I can remember, I will link to other people's footage of that, because I'm sure that there's good stuff out there. So let's check out some of the music of day 2, and this is going to be heavy emphasis on Buffalo Tom, so if you're a Buffalo Tom fan, this is the section you're going to want to watch.
Put your loving hand in mine.
If you can tell from this particular lighting, but I am super sunburned. I got pretty much a year's worth of vitamin D in there for in just a 2-day period. The festival was great. Everything was super smooth. I think we had a great team in terms of the production manager and myself. We worked really well together, along with the stews of the stagehands. Everything worked out really smoothly. All the bands and crews were very cool. You know, they're very professional and sometimes can be intense, but ultimately that's just because they have to get their job done and they know exactly what it is, and they deal with different people every single day. Everybody was great though. I mean, no complaints. Again, Buffalo Tom was my favorite set overall. There were a lot of other great bands, especially I was surprised by Devotchka because I didn't know too much about them. They did a great set, and they did a cool cover of Love My Way by Psychedelic Furs, where the singer was using a theremin. And I'm always mesmerized by theremins. I think it's a super cool instrument. The Eye kicked off the second day. That's a local band. I know the singer, Tyler Owen. He's been around for a long time. And I knew he had a band, but I'd never seen them before. His bass player, Dave, is the bass player in the Replacements tribute band Left of the Dial that I had talked about in a Replacements video. I'll link to that as well. The Faint were excellent as always. Flaming Lips puts on a fantastic show as always. So again, hope you enjoyed this video, and maybe we'll see you next year at Outlandia 2025. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.
So, you have a MySpace page or something?